Hello everyone, this is Eric from Etiquette, and today I'm going to tell you about roleplay in ESL. How to implement roleplay, the pros and cons, and I'm going to give you 25 different roleplays you can use in your ESL classroom. One of the most frustrating things for English learners is to transition from the classroom into real-life situations. One way that teachers can help their students get used to using English outside of the classroom in a natural way is by using role plays. Role plays should be part of every ESL teacher's arsenal. It can also be used by regular teachers to reinforce certain ideas and to help students practice certain situations. Why is this a good thing? First, students can use natural language. They can learn the grammar and vocabulary by actually practicing it with friends in situations that are real. They are not bound by classroom. They can start thinking beyond the classroom and how to actually use the language in situations. It prepares them for the world outside. So many times I've seen students be able to use the language inside the classroom, but when you go outside on a field trip, they freeze. Suddenly they can't use it. To help students move to the outside of the classroom, you can do it in a safe, controlled environment by actually practicing what they're learning as if it's the real world. Another great thing is while the students are doing the role play, the teacher can move around and correct certain mistakes or give them some more tips. That way, they feel more confident once they go outside because they've already practiced it inside the classroom. Typically, students remember these role plays more than they would normal lessons because they're actually acting it out and they're using it with friends. It can be funny, it can be exciting. But that's also one of the negatives. Sometimes students play around too much and they don't practice what you want them to learn. Sometimes you get students that are too shy and other students that are not interested in doing the activity. So you have to properly motivate them to do that. The reason I enjoy role plays is that it gives students a chance to be creative. They can put themselves into the language. With that being said, let's jump into how to teach students role play. Step 1. Prepare for success. Especially elementary students should be thoroughly prepared before they start doing the role play. They should have the necessary vocabulary or expressions, and they should also know exactly what is expected of them. At higher levels, students don't need that much support, but it can take them some time to get into the role. You should also be walking around and giving them some pointers, helping them with the targeted language. Imagine sitting at your desk for hours and hours just studying something. With role plays, students are able to stand up, talk to their friends, act and do something. And by physically doing it, they are also learning how to do it better. Make sure to have rules though, because things can get out of hand. We know how students are. Finally, they're free to do what they want, so many students might mess around. So make sure they know what their boundaries are. Decide on the teaching material. You can use scripts, you can use storybooks, you can use a movie, you can use anything that from real life that they can use in their role play. Select the situations and talk about the dialogue necessary. Students should create dialogue with some of the vocabulary you've given them, but they should also feel free to use their own creativity and go with it. Because nothing makes them better than to show off what they've already learned. I mean, what is the use of language if you've got all this knowledge, but you're not allowed to use it? So give them creative control, but within reason. So you've given students the dialogue, they're practicing. Let them practice with a partner or in small groups so that everybody can get a chance. Once they've gotten used to a certain role, make them switch it up so that they can practice different roles. Walk around and evaluate the students. Check them for their understanding and use and ask them some questions in between. To have all the students do their role plays may take too long. So what I do is, if they're pairs or in small groups, I let them play rock, scissors, paper against each other, and then the losing group has to do it for the other students. Students love this because they do have to practice because they might get chosen, but they don't have to sit around and watch 10 other role plays. At the end of the class, make sure students know why you're doing the role play, what its purpose is. Because if there's no reason for them to do role plays, it might get out of hand and you might lose the class. So make sure they know the value and also that they stay within the boundaries of your classroom rules. Tips on making it better. Keep the role plays relevant to the language. Make it true to real life so that students don't act too crazy and they lose the reason for why they're doing it in the first place. When students start, many times they can be at a loss for words or phrases. So have some go-to words on the board that they can turn to in case they get stuck. If it's possible, add realia and props to the role play. It'll make it fun and students also enjoy using things like that. Let's look at 25 role play examples you can use in your ESL classroom. 1. Behavior in class. If there's some behavior in class that is unwanted that you don't want to see, ask students to role play it. Role play the bad behavior and then also the consequences. Every moment is a teachable moment, so use it to teach the students what is acceptable in class and what is unacceptable. 2. Food. Talking about food, ordering food, asking a waiter for certain changes with food. You can also do a cooking show so that the students talk about the ingredients and how to cook. 3. Accommodation. Making a reservation, going to the hotel, asking for some things that they might need. Number 4. Taxi. Getting into the taxi, giving directions and also paying. 5. Telephone conversations. Nothing can be as nerve-wracking as having a conversation in another language on the telephone. Practice telephone conversations, ordering, making requests, or talking to someone. 6. Arguments between friends or neighbors. This is great because they can actually learn some interpersonal problem-solving skills. 7. Doctor. Going to the doctor's office, talking about body parts or something that might be wrong. They can also be the doctor or the nurse giving advice. Number 9. Teach. Students can take the role of teacher and teach a certain part of the lesson. They can also practice asking questions to the teacher so that they feel more comfortable asking questions to you later. For example, if they don't understand something or asking about a test. Many students are so nervous to ask the teacher anything, so this is a great opportunity for them to practice it and in the future they can use it. Perhaps even something like, teacher, I forgot my homework, my dog ate my homework, coming up with better excuses for having late work. 10. Sales. Students can sell a product, they can ask questions about a product when they're buying it. This is a great skill that everybody needs to have. 11. Shopping. This is a bit different. You can practice going to the shop and buying some items. For example, you can have a shopping list. You can ask your mom about what you need, what you should get, and then going to the store and getting it. 12. Interviews. Job interviews, university interviews. Students can practice and get comfortable in those situations. 13. Speed dating. This is fun. Students can have quick conversations with their friends. This is a great way for students to meet many people in a very short period of time. They can practice social skills with one another. 14. Town hall. If there are any problems in town, they can discuss it and also look for some solutions. This encourages them to have a problem-solving mindset. 15. Emergencies. All students should practice how to react when an emergency happens, how to call for help, and how to react when something bad happens. You can look at car accidents, calling the ambulance, calling the police, any type of accident or emergency. 16. Business. How to meet someone for a business meeting, how to have meetings, how to conduct business. 17. Consumer complaints. You've got a problem with your meal. call the waiter. You've got a problem with your hotel. If there's something wrong with an item you bought, you can return it for a refund. Students should practice this so that they can do it in real life. 18. Husband and wife requests. This is a great personal skill to learn. Sometimes there is conflict between a husband and wife in a relationship, and this teaches students to ask for something. A wife can ask her husband, honey, I want you to mow the lawn. Or the husband can say, I want us to have dinner out once a week. This way you can practice personal problem solving skills. Number 19, at a party. Going to a birthday, a baby shower, a wedding, how to give compliments, how to have small talk, how to say congratulations. 20, movie. Going to the movies, talking about movies that you like, actors that you like, explaining the plot of movies. Being able to share our ideas on movies is what makes us part of this generation. 21, giving your opinion. You have thoughts and feelings, and it's important to practice giving your opinion in a structured manner. 22, debate. Coming from opinions, students should also be able to understand both sides of an argument, and that is why debate is very important. Students should look at both sides of a debate and be able to give a logical, structured reason for their belief. 23, giving advice. Everybody needs advice sometime in their life. This is a great role play for students to practice giving advice and also receiving advice from friends. It'll make them better friends and also better people. This brings me to 24, relationship advice. Perhaps the students are in elementary school, but even then they can learn and appreciate what relationships are. So many students don't get the chance to talk about relationships or understand how relationships work. This is a safe way for them to practice and also learn some English. 25. Last but not least, living in a foreign country. Giving advice, telling someone where to go, where to eat. You can tell them about cultural norms. This is a fantastic role play for students to understand how someone else might feel when they come to their country. In conclusion, role play is a worthwhile experience for teachers and learners. Not only do students get the opportunity to act and interact with their peers, but they also get to practice English. Students learn how to use the language in a more realistic, practical way. Thus, they become more aware of the usefulness and practicality of the English language. I hope you use role plays in your classroom to help students connect the language to their real lives. Okay, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please use role play in your classroom, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.